far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. To me, being a gangster was better than being President of the United States of America. Even before I first wandered into the cab stand for an after-school job, I knew I wanted to be a part of them. It was where I belonged. To me, it meant being somebody in a neighborhood full of nobodies. They weren't like everybody else. They did whatever they wanted. They double park in front of the hydrant and nobody ever gave them a ticket. In the summer, when they play cards all night, nobody ever called the cops. Tuddy Vero ran the cab stand and a pizzeria and a few other places for his brother Paul, who was the boss over everybody in the neighborhood. Paul might have moved slow, but it was only because he didn't have to move for anybody. At first, my parents loved that I found a job across the street. My father, who was Irish, was sent to work at the age of 11, and he liked that I got myself a job. He always said American kids were spoiled lazy. And my mother was happy after she found out that the Veros came from the same part of Sicily as she did. To my mother, it was the answer to her prayers. I was the luckiest kid in the world. I could go anywhere. I could do anything. But it wasn't too long before my parents changed their minds. For them, the cab stand was supposed to be a part-time job, but for me, it was a full-time job. My father was always pissed off. He was pissed that he had to work so hard. He was pissed that he made such lousy money. He was pissed that there were 7 of us living in a tiny house. But after a while, he was mostly pissed that I hung around at the cab stand. He said they were bums and that I was a bum. He said I was going to get into trouble. I used to say I was only running errands after school, but he knew better. He knew what went on at that cab stand. And every once in a while, usually after he got his load on, I had to take a beating. But by then, he didn't care. No matter how many beatings I took, I wouldn't listen to what he said. I don't think I even heard him. The way I saw it, everybody has to take a beating sometime. That was it. No more letters from truant officers. No more letters from school. In fact, no more letters from anybody. How could I go back to school after that and pledge allegiance to the flag and sit through good government bullshit? Hundreds of guys depended on Paulie, and he got a piece of everything they made. It was tribute, just like in the old country, except they were doing it in America. All they got from Paulie was protection from other guys looking to rip them off. That's what it's all about. That's what the FBI can never understand. That's what Paulie and the rest of the organization does, is offer protection for people who can't go to the cops. They were like police department for wise guys.